I like beer. Driving around backwards, I've never done that in my life. I don't know why. I was spinning around. I got out. I about fell. Why I did all that? Because we won, and I want to do everything that I've seen my heroes do and also write my own story. If you offered people in a normal setting watermelon that different people had bitten off of, nobody would do it. But in the moment, I'm eating it, they're eating it, I'm eating it again. It doesn't matter. When you win cup races, like, the rules go out the window.
Right. We are now joined by tonight's winner of the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway and driver of the #1 TrackHouse Racing Chevrolet, Ross Chastain. We will go straight into questions. We'll go to Zach Sterniolo up first.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Ross, congratulations. First crown jewel victory for yourself and for Trackhouse Racing. That part of that, being here, especially just down the road from the Trackhouse shop, what is the significance of this moment for you and for this Trackhouse team?
I don't know yet. I really don't. It's sinking in that we won the World 600. We won the Coke 600. But what that means for the team and me and everything else, you saw us crash yesterday. You've heard me, I think, talk about they were up till 2:30. I left at 10. They stayed there long after I was gone. They were back at 5:30. We built another car. And we put ourselves in, we just slowly worked our way. It took all 600 miles. Like a 400-mile race here, we don't get there. We're not in contention. So it took the whole time, and then I don't know what it means yet. I'm excited to find out, though.
All right, we'll go to Jacob and then to Jordan next.
Jacob Steelman, Raceface Digital. Ross, first off, congratulations. Two for you. First, take me back to Ross Chastain in the JD Motorsports chapter when you're just trying to tell yourself, maybe I'm going to have a job next week. Could you have told that Ross Chastain you were going to be sitting here as a 600 winner?
So I have to back up even a little more. What's today? Sunday. It might be Monday. I guess it's Monday by now. But I think it was Saturday morning or Saturday. I was driving through China Grove, and I passed the old Viva Motorsports shop on 152. And Jamie Dick let me drive his car. I brought sponsorship. In my first Xfinity race here at Charlotte was in 2014. So we ran Charlotte and Daytona that year. Neither one went very well, but my first Xfinity race here was then. I've crashed in 2013 here in the BKR truck with Chad Kendrick as my crew chief, and I told him last night or Friday night after the truck race that if he had the driver now that he sees as me, that we would have ran a lot better than we did back in 13. So as I stepped through the JD days, I just kept learning. We had times here where Johnny rented a full lease motor because we were running really good, and then the sway bar arms broke during the race. So a lot of we had a truck arm break one time. The sway bars broke one time. So we had a lot of heartbreak here where we thought we were going to run better, and I don't. All that's part of the journey. So what it means now, I don't know, but it was all part of the journey. To drive up and pass William, it took me years of learning this craft. I wasn't the guy that showed up and was fast and could win races. I wasn't with the teams that could win either, but a decade or more of learning is what got me to victory lane tonight in this race.
And Phil was in here earlier, talked about the culture during the rebuild and in the shop. Justin was in here earlier, talked about the culture at Trackhouse. What makes you most proud about seeing that kind of culture, that it's not just about your effort that goes in, but Justin used the word relentless to describe this team, and knowing that all of that's we've always seen in you is so echoed by everybody at Trackhouse, and particularly with your #1 team?
Yeah, from my side, they see less of me because Chevrolet and General Motors opened their tech center down the street. So the Josh Wise program, the Wise optimization program, used to be out back of Ganassi. It lined up with the transition of Trackhouse that we moved across Bruton Smith Boulevard to GM. And so I do spend less time at TrackHouse, but that's because I'm there at GM where my driver coaches are, my strength coaches, my mental coaches, my everything there is to make me the best driver. So yeah, it's been keep waking up. I mean, the Monday mornings, they suck sometimes, but you show up and you just keep doing it. I'm not sure I'm going to make it in the morning, I'll be honest, but I think I'll have an excused absence.
All right, quickly, we're gonna go to Jordan, then we're gonna go to Dustin, and then we'll go to Steven.
Jordan Bianchi, the Athletic, you kind of touched on it. Is this the best you've ever been at this moment as a race car driver right now?
Well, the truck gave me a lot of confidence Friday. I moved the groove up single-handedly. I watched my tire tracks. Every time I come back around, I could see my rubber moving it up. Then when I got in the cup car gave me the confidence to run the top. I ran it on the out lap and the entire first lap. I was going to qualify around the top like Reddick did, the 45 did. And then we started the race, and I didn't have the same feeling, so I couldn't run the top. I didn't really run the top as well all 600 miles today as I did yesterday in practice. Now, I had cleaner air, but even when I had clean air, I didn't have the balance in the car to do it. So I've said it, I've heard drivers say it, and I believe it. We cannot drive slow cars fast. You rent a car at any airport in the world, and if it's slow and you mash the gas and it doesn't go as fast as another car, you're slower. So whether that's in the corner, grip, or straightaway, we just had to keep working on our car tonight. And the final thing I said, I think before screaming that we won, was the final thing I said was, you nailed the balance. Like Phil Surgeon and the group nailed the balance for the final green flag pit out. So I don't think that I'm any better than I have been. We came here and you saw it yesterday with the averages, the average lap times throughout the practice. We were right there with William for fast time in Group 2. And then you saw it. We just marched our way through the field tonight.
The crew was at the shop until, 2:30 in the morning last night. Were you there for any portion of that last night? What was that like, if you were?
Yeah, I was. I did the PRN broadcast, so I was up in the booth. I found out once I was in the booth that they were going to go to a backup. When I left the garage, we were going to fix the car, and then NASCAR saw some stuff they didn't like with the clip and the frame, that they didn't want it to race. So they said, go build another one, bring out another one. So they started from basically scratch. I don't know the details of what the car was going to do and if I didn't crash yesterday, but yeah, I left about 10 o'clock. I got done with the PRN broadcast. I went straight there. I was there till 10. Tony Lunders is literally pushing me out, saying, go home, go to sleep. I need you to be ready tomorrow night. Got up, had a normal morning, did some other business, just normal that I would do on a normal day, and rode down here, and my first thing was at 12:30, and they got the car done. So 2:30 they left. I think they're back at 5:30, last I heard.
Go ahead, Dustin.
Dustin Lumpino, J-Ski. Ross, you mentioned how it took all 600 miles today, and if it was like a 400, 500-mile race, you don't get it done. But when did you feel like this car, the backup car, was a contender tonight?
Yeah, we were making our way early, and then we pitted, and the caution came out while we were on pit road, so we had to take the wave around. And I was passing cars before that. I was passing cars after that. But then I got to like that 9th, and then I got to 3rd. I made a bad choose. I chose second row inside, fell back to 7th or 8th, and I wasn't sure that I would get back up there. But then 77 had his issue. Like, Carson was always ahead of me getting to the front. We started at the back together after he spun out in qualifying. So Carson beat me to the front and had front row, and then I don't know, did his tire fall off? Do we know? The engine blew up? I could see sparks and fire coming out of the left front. It looked like the tire, so that's wild. Because he was in position. I didn't get to race with him all night. He beat me to the front. So, yeah, when did I know? Not until down the back stretch on the white flag lap.
Go to Steven, then we'll go Greg.
Stephen Toronto, CBS Sports. Ross, I want to ask you about your very prolonged celebration. You did a Polish victory lap afterwards, then you did the watermelon smash, then you were up in the stands, and it felt like it took a really, really long time. And so, what exactly went into deciding to do all that to commemorate winning the Coke 600?
I won. No one can tell me what to do. I will admit that we reached the 2-hour mark a little bit ago since the finish, and they were barking at me in victory lane, and I was a little more cordial earlier. They know, and I've told them in the past, like, when I win, I'm going to soak this in, because at times I didn't. Truck Series, winning truck races or Xfinity races and then racing Cup the next day is like the best thing, but the worst, because you can't celebrate it, and I like beer. I'd be drinking beer whether Busch Light sponsored me or not, and I would be drinking Busch Light whether they sponsored me or not. So whenever we do this, yes, I was still completely sober, clearly out on the track, but I wanted to take it in. A crown jewel race like the World 600, the Coca-Cola 600, driving around backwards, I've never done that in my life. And when I won, I thought, I'm doing it. What Alan meant, what he started, and seeing the other drivers that have paid it back and paid it forward to him, of honoring him, I wanted to be a part of that. I've now done one. I never did it in my life. So the long burnout, I don't know why. I was spinning around. I got out. I about fell. Andy ran me the watermelon out. I didn't see him until I was like stepping out of the car. Why I did all that? Because we won, and I want to do everything that I've seen my heroes do, and also write my own story and just go up. If you offered people in a normal setting watermelon that different people had bitten off of, nobody would do it. But in the moment, I'm eating it, they're eating it, I'm eating it again. It doesn't matter. When you win Cup races, like, the rules go out the window.
I saw someone try to steal your hat, by the way, as you were driving to victory lane. Did you get that thing back?
I did.
Okay.
This is, yes, I believe this is the hat. Doesn't look very dirty, but yes, I did. Yeah, that was unfortunate. A guy was on pit road. He was super excited. He reached in. I high-fived him. I didn't know him. And he just, like, grabbed my head, and I thought, oh, he's just, like, saying, oh, yeah, good job, buddy. And then he just pulled the hat, and then he did this little dance, and he said, I got your hat. I got your hat. And I was like, I'll give it back. And he ran away, and I was like, I just shut the car off. And I pointed, and the NASCAR security and Tony Lunders was there, and the security group. I was like, that's my winning hat. Like, that means it rode in the car. So every week, every race car I ever drive, I set the hat. I have to have a hat with the hole in it so that I can put it on the shifter, and it rides on the transmission tunnel every week, every race. So that's the hat, and I'll put that on the shelf. It means a lot to me, and I'm not going to give that away.
Right, 10-4. I saw that, and I saw security took
Yeah,
care
I
of
was
it,
a little brutal with the words I was saying, but
I did hear that too.
I wanted the hat back, and he was running away. Like, he knew what he was doing, and he grabbed it off my head, and I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. Congratulations, Ross.
Thank you.
All right, due to time, we'll just take one final question here with Greg.
I'm going to ask too, because everybody else has. You and I were standing here this morning with that family, and you know me as a veteran, the VA stuff I do. That was a big deal, and it was a big deal for the family. Was excited and everything. And on top of all this other stuff and winning the World 600 and the Coca-Cola 600 and the Crown Jewel, I noticed that you pulled his picture out at Victory Lane. Were you able to talk to the family, and what was it like to be able to deliver a win for them? Because I don't think you had the confidence this morning of any race, but I think you understood it was going to be a tall order, and you met the match.
I was more confident in the car than I was in the group out in the lobby being so loud while we were trying to talk.
Yeah, that
First of
too.
all, we were both telling them to shh.
Yes.
Yeah, the McRae family, Allie was who did most of the speaking and told their story, but her sister, brother, and mom were here. And for that, she gave me the picture, and to see his face, and she said right on the grid, right before the race, like, we want you to have this. We want you to take this with you. This is for you. I put it in the door of the car. he was a big fan. He was a race fan and fan of sports and fan of life. And he's no longer with us because of his accident that happened in training and in service to this country. And to hear Allie talk and to see their faces pre-race, it meant a lot. Our interview meant a lot that we talked about. Jockey believes in Folds of Honor, and Folds of Honor, Allie is a recipient of a 4-year degree from Folds of Honor, and that's the storybook ending this is supposed to have. It usually doesn't. And the fact that we were able to give the McRae family that storybook ending after so much pain, so much suffering, and so much life that was lived and life that was lost in dedication to this country and the service of their dad and husband, it meant the world. And I pulled the picture out on the front stretch. I pulled the picture out in Victoria. It's still in the car, probably in tech now. That picture was meaningful, and that's mine now. I get to have that, and I'll put that up in a safe place. So, yeah, the worst part about all that was the lobby being so loud.
Yeah, you have lucky things. You keep the hat. You do this. One of the things that stuck out with me and something that I've kind of adapted now, just listening to her, was what you had on that rear deck lid which was be a sponge. The advice he gave to her, and I thought that was pretty meaningful. Is that something maybe we're going to see a little sticker where you have "Be a Sponge" now that you've won with it?
I don't know. It's a very that term or that saying can be taken any way we want, and I could look at it and I'm always trying to learn, and that's what he was telling them: just be a sponge, just always try to learn something. So. Just like I don't know how winning this race will affect my life. I don't know how being a sponge will affect my life, but it's something that I'll never forget. Whether we write it down or not, it's something that'll ring in my head. So, yeah, you could tell. As a son, my dad has sayings that I've lived by, and he didn't mean it as a mantra or a war cry that it is. My dad's is just do it. Theirs is be a sponge. Other people probably have other things, and when someone older says something, we tend to grasp onto it as kids. So they did, and I'll now be a sponge in a lot of things in life moving forward.
All right, with that, Ross, congrats on the win tonight.
Thank you. And I didn't even yell too loud in here, so y'all are welcome.